This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
Come. Good morning, ma'am.
Come, Poorva. Good morning. Please sit down. How are you today, Poorva?
I'm good, ma'am.
Okay. How well prepared are you now?
Ma'am, I took the suggestions very well and I prepared on economics more. And I've been following the year-end newspapers and compilations.
Very good. That's really good. So now tell me, Sita or Draupadi, who is more empowered?
Ma'am, can I think through this? Ma'am, I think both of them are empowered in their own ways because Sita ji, she took the decision to go with her husband on the 14-year vanvas and supported him throughout. And even after coming back, she went through the test at the public demand and displayed her character. And Draupadi also was very empowered in the sense that after what happened with her, she the entire Mahabharat Yudh started after her Cheer Haran. So it was in that sense that she was very empowered.
Mm-hmm. Who was the People's King in Chhattisgarh? Did I ask you the question before? The People's King in Chhattisgarh.
People's King. Sorry, ma'am.
Which king was adored by the tribals?
Ma'am, he was the king of no, ma'am. He was the king of Jagdalpur. His name was King Praveen.
What happened to him?
Ma'am, I'm not very sure.
Okay, never mind. So this water race in California, what is it? It's swimming? It's a swimming competition? What is it that you...
No, ma'am. It was a competition where the teams presented their models to solve the drinking water challenge of the
There was a drought in California for a long time. So among other measures, there was some very strict measure they said regarding use of water. Do you recall what it was?
No, ma'am. I'm unaware of that.
You were there at what time? When were you there?
Ma'am, I was there in 2018.
It was there. The drought was very much there. A lot of fires.
No,
okay, never mind. And you swim, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
So swimming is a weight gain sport or a weight loss sport?
Ma'am, if it is done for a leisurely purpose, then it does not affect the weight a lot. But if it is done as an exercise, then it leads to weight loss.
Mm-hmm. I always find it weight gain because I feel so hungry after that I eat too much.
Ma'am, it depends on what one eats.
Okay. So tell us about what is de-dollarization and how does it impact India?
Ma'am, de-dollarization refers to shift away from dollar for the global transactions. And how can it affect India? So, for India, it can be a way to increase the use of rupee in global trade. It will not very soon lead to internationalization of rupee, but it can definitely increase the share of rupee in the global trade.
So, what sector should we go for to increase the share of the rupee? How should we go about it?
Ma'am, there are two ways for this. First can be through increasing our export share in the world so that the countries which get rupee can pay us back for our exports.
So do you think we should do manufacturing route or services route? What will get us better advantage?
Ma'am, I think that both of them should be worked on together because manufacturing would provide gainful employment to a larger population.
Where are we better positioned?
Ma'am, according to our comparative advantage, because we have a large population, we are better placed in manufacturing, but we also have a good human capital due to a lot of higher education institutions. So in that sense, even service sector...
So where are our dollars coming from today? Which sector are they coming from?
Ma'am, we have a service surplus.
There you go. Okay. So would you go in for monetary expansion or contraction today in India? Say you are the Governor RBI or you are the Governor RBI. Would you go in for expansion or contraction?
Ma'am, I would go for a stable monetary policy without increasing or decreasing the rates right now, because
the last line of least resistance. Don't do anything.
Ma'am, because right now our inflation is about 5.9%, which is below the 6% cap, but because of the global
What is ideal inflation, by the way?
Ma'am, it depends from...
No, what is the RBI said? What is ideal inflation?
It is 4 plus minus 2%.
That's the upper cap, absolutely danger signals. So we are there, nearly there.
Yes, ma'am.
5.9.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, but we have to balance growth and inflation both. So if...
okay, so let's go to the growth route.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have not increased interest rates for quite some time, right?
Yes.
We had a couple of increases last year, before which we had gone down a lot.
Yes.
If we say the last decade, we would be how many percentage points below? Say 2014 or 2013. How much have the rates come down in the last 10 years? It's a downward thing.
Yes.
So now tell us, where has manufacturing gone? Interest rates have come down. So how has it impacted manufacturing? Has it sent it soaring? What's happened?
Ma'am, I agree that the manufacturing sector has been stable at around 15% of our GDP. I agree that there have not been any phenomenal changes, but any input that goes into manufacturing leads its results in the medium and long term.
So you think that we should make everything cheap for the industry and they don't need to be competitive or perform? Even today, investment has gone down. Today's newspapers also talk about it. The index of manufacturing has gone down. Everything is down. And we are holding the rates for a long time. And a couple of increases last year, and then before that also we brought them down. So it is the demand of the industry to make everything cheap. Demand in the name of growth and do nothing. Question this now, debate and counter what I've said.
Ma'am,
they want cheap land, Land Acquisition Act, they became a cropper in that, right? They want cheap labor laws, hire, fire, etc., etc. They want cheap capital. What is the fourth factor of production?
Entrepreneurship.
So there they don't want anything cheap there, right? So, so then justify your stand now.
Ma'am, because the WPI went low in the first half of this year, manufacturing did see a growth, and in fact in the last quarter it was the flag bearer of our growth out of the... Yes, ma'am. In the quarter 2, it went for a growth of 11. Industries went for a growth for 11.7%, and agriculture and services took a hit. And lower inflation is not just important.
Okay. You heard of Muhammad bin Tughlaq in our history?
Yes, ma'am.
Sultan of Delhi?
Yes, ma'am.
You know something about him?
Yes, ma'am.
What did he do?
Ma'am, he conducted various experiments for the betterment of his kingdom. And though those experiments did not always...
Name 2 of them.
Ma'am, first was to shift his capital. Second was to give out Takavi loans, cheaper loans to the people.
He got currency.
Yes, he issued...
He shifted from the gold, silver, copper. So now, tell me, what went wrong with this currency change of his? As an economist, what happened?
Ma'am, so what happened was that because he shifted towards brass minted currency, everybody could mint those currencies at their own home. And this led to a lot of corruption, because then there was no control over the money supply.
Small things happened also.
Ma'am, I'll read upon that further.
The face value was more or less than the intrinsic value. It was more than the intrinsic value, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So people, they went and he gave them the option of turning it in also. So they went and gave it. The exchequer kept losing. Second was what you said also. So anyway. Okay. So why is this NRC CA issue, it has raised again? What has happened in the last 2 days?
Ma'am, the government has said that it will release the rules for CA soon.
So now just tell me very clearly, I know nothing about this. Tell me a little, what is NRC and NPR, how they're different to each other, and just tell me the quick landmarks in this. And then tell me about CA, just as a lead up, 5-6 sentences or no, altogether. And then say, what are your views on this whole matter? Why are people against it? Why are there agitations, etc.?
Ma'am, NRC is the National Register of Citizens, and it maintains a record of those who are citizens of India, whereas NPR maintains a record of not just the citizens but who have been staying in India for a considerable period.
When was NPR introduced and when was NRC introduced? Any idea?
Ma'am, I'm not very sure of this, I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter. All right.
And ma'am,
So why the controversy? It's so logical. Why was there a controversy in this? Why were people against it?
Ma'am, people were against the flexibility or the reduction in time period that was allowed for refugees of certain countries to gain citizenship in India.
Which countries are you referring to?
Ma'am, the CA.
I'm talking about NRC just now.
Okay, NRC.
Nothing to do with refugees from certain countries just now.
Okay. Ma'am, so there was a demand in Assam mainly because they feared that the illegal immigrants from Bangladesh could gain citizenship by illegally moving to Assam.
What is the cutoff for NRC?
Ma'am, in Assam it is 1970. 1970, according to the Assam Accord. 1970.
And today, as per the NRC, it is 70.
Ma'am, as per the NRC, it is 1947, I guess.
Cannot be.
Ma'am, in Assam specifically, due to the Assam Accord, it was extended to 1970 and...
So one round was done. What happened after that in Assam?
Ma'am, after that, recently, a few years ago, there was again one round done, and
Nothing happened after that. Why?
Ma'am, the claims have been those who have been out of the register. They have through proper channels they are raising their claims, and the judicial system has been catering to that.
It's 4 years. So what does it mean? The people identified as not citizens, have they been decitizenized, or whatever is the technical word, or what has happened?
Ma'am, such things take.
No, I'm asking what happened. Do you know or you don't know?
Ma'am, they've not been de-citizenized. They are given the option to refer to the foreign tribunals, and after that they can...
Foreign tribunals means?
Ma'am, they are the ones who pass judgment on the claims of those who have been so-called de-citizenized through the NRC exercise.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Verma.
Yeah. So you are Poorva Agrawal.
Yes.
You are from SRCC.
Yes.
What is full form of your college?
Sri Ram College of Commerce.
Who was this Mr. Sri Ram?
Sir, he was an industrialist during the freedom struggle.
And you are originally from Chhattisgarh.
Yes.
Right? Who is the present Chief Minister of your state?
Mr. 𝐂𝐫𝐸𝐻𝐵𝐻.
Who is the Chief Secretary?
Mr. Amitabh Jain.
Amitabh Jain. Okay, good. There is a term called third world country. Have you heard of this? First world, second world, third world. Can you define in a way that things are very clear in distinct way? First world means?
The first world country refers to the Western world, who were the main colonizers during the 1850s and 1800s and 1900s.
Okay. Second world?
Second world refers to the countries like which were a part of the Soviet Union.
Okay. First world is primarily capitalist country, right?
Yes.
Okay. And third world?
So third world countries were the ones who were decolonized in the 20th century.
Any resemblance between third world country and non-aligned movement?
Sir, some of the third world countries were a part of the non-aligned movement which was led by India.
Okay. So you are from economics. And as far I have the idea, economics from Delhi University is a very rewarding subject, right? Why not for MBA? Why for civil services?
Sir, during my college, I did get an opportunity to work in the corporate sector for a very short period of 2 months, but that exposure gave me the clarity that I would not want to pursue my career further in the private sector, and I would rather want to work in civil.
Why? What makes the...
So because here I feel that I'll have the opportunity to work at the grassroots level and bring at least some positive change in the lives of people around me.
But you have a great future in corporate world, monetarily at least. And I'm sure most of your classmates and friends and seniors, they are there into IIMs, right? So why this peculiar kind of decision from a student of SRCC?
So I feel that monetary gain is not the only thing important for me in a job. I also look for things like job satisfaction, which I feel is greater in civil services.
Okay. Give me 2 reasons why you should not be selected.
So can I think through this for a minute? So I think the esteemed panel in front of me is very capable to judge if I'm capable for the service or not. So I would trust whatever decision.
No, but we are asking you. You have to give the reason, if any.
Sir, I have opted for this service after doing a great amount of analysis, and that is why I think I'll not be able to answer this because I thought that it is suitable for me. That is why I chose to.
Okay, good. Sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So, hello, Poorva.
Good morning, sir.
Can you enumerate different type of markets that are there? Types as in, for example, there's competition, monopoly.
Okay, yes, sir. So first is the perfect competition market. Second is the oligopolistic market. Third is monopoly, and fourth is monopolistic competition.
Okay, if I were to ask you India's telecom market, in which of these bucket it will fall?
So it falls under oligopoly and specifically duopoly.
Duopoly. Which are the 2 biggest players?
So right now it's Reliance Jio, and the second is Idea.
Airtel?
Airtel Idea, yes, sir.
But Idea is Vodafone. Vodafone Idea, they are together, VI.
Yes,
Well, that's all they call. So there are 3 big players.
Okay, sorry, sir. Yes.
And BSNL? You don't consider them a player?
So now its market share is very less.
Very low. So what was your role as analyst in Barclays?
Sir, I had to judge the liquidity ratios of the bank and report it to the Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS, on a weekly basis every Monday.
Liquidity ratio. What does that term mean?
Sir, it compares the liquid assets to the current liabilities and sees if the bank is having enough liquidity to pay back its obligations in the short.
Okay, and what are illiquid assets in the bank's balance sheet?
So the illiquid assets are the ones which are not quickly transferable to cash in the short run, like the long-term deposits.
Long-term deposits. Okay. Illiquid. I'm talking about assets. Illiquid assets. Deposits are a liability for bank.
Long-term borrowings.
Long-term
I'm
loans.
sorry, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right. Have you heard about Gift City?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Sir, it is a smart city being built in Gujarat to attract.
Okay. Do you think India Gift City can become a financial hub like London or Singapore?
Yes, sir, definitely, because we are building world-class infrastructure there, and International Financial Services Center has also been set up. So in the long run, plus it is a port city, so it has easier connectivity as well.
But then
yes.
There has to be a very strong domestic market, for investments. If you see the domestic investments, especially the private corporate investments, they have been stagnant for quite a period of time. So don't you think that this will act as a big deterrent or big roadblock in our ambition to make GIFT City as a global financial hub?
So the hit that the corporate investments took was very short term. It was after the COVID period, and we see that the corporate lending has again taken up. Banks lending, credit lending has increased.
Okay. And do you think India may have to implement capital account convertibility also if they want to become a hub?
Sir, capital account convertibility is very important, but in the short run, India can't do it because of the inherent dangers associated with it, as pointed out by the Tarapur committee as well.
So there are dangers. So there might be reluctance in the government to, implement. So will that be a roadblock?
The government is gradually moving towards it, liberalizing it in a peaceful manner. So in the long run, we are tending towards.
My last question, rupee has consistently depreciated against the dollar. Is there any long-term factor that is responsible for this?
So it has been due to multiple reasons. First is because after the COVID, there was increase in interest rates.
If I say the horizon that I'm asking is say 90s it was somewhere around 35, 36. Now it is above 80. I'm talking about that long horizon. Any fundamental reason that is there for long-term depreciation?
Sir, it is our low share in the global trade, because of which the demand for
inflation differential, does it have anything to do with it?
Yes, sir. If the domestic inflation is greater than the global inflation, then it also leads to.
And is that a factor why India rupee has depreciated so much? Against every currency it has depreciated.
Yes, sir. It can be one of the reasons.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Poorva. That's all from my side.
Okay then. Thank you. All the best.